Do I got mustard on my mustache?
Okay.
I'm okay.
Right.
Is it okay if I look at the camera too?
So today we've had a really good informational session looking at the benefits of cover crops and how growers can implement them into their cropping systems. The information that we present is pertinent. We've got people that are doing it, just not talking about it in theory, but are actually implementing it into their own fields. We get our hands dirty with it, we'll walk the walk and talk the talk.
The key issues that probably most growers come to me with is number one, compaction, and then still erosion. The topsoil that I have on my farm is a valuable resource that I need to protect. How do I do it? Of all of the options that are available today, cover crops are probably the best and the most economical option.
We started using them 12, 13 years ago for a food source in the spring and the fall for our cattle herd. And so then we started seeing some other benefits. Soil health, you got an active root growing all the time. It's sequestering nutrients that aren't going, over the field. And it's providing some cover for erosion. Just put the soil in a better condition than it is.
We've had a troubled field with a couple of low areas in it where water would always stand, and that cereal rye seemed to, come harvest time, make those disappear, where usually when we're combining is when you see it. We didn't see the yield reductions, especially this year when I look across the road at a conventionally tilled field and they've got the water drowned out spots and we didn't have them, and that's a huge plus for me. They drive by our fields and they see the green over the winter. I've had people joke, they turn black dirt and they can get a better yield, quote unquote, but I'm also not burning all the diesel fuel for deep tillage, and I don't have some of the water pockets and erosion things, so hopefully we're ahead of that game and maybe they'll start trying some things.
Dr. Shalimar Armstrong from Purdue University reviewed some of his research results and looking at how nitrogen timing and how its interaction with cover crops such as cereal rye and tillage radishes can add value to the growers.
In 2015 fall, you start seeing an effect on the concentration of cover crops. So the blue dots are cover crop tile water, the impact of cover crops. The orange is the control.
Dr. Armstrong, anytime you ever listen to him, if you don't learn something, you were asleep, because there's just a whole lot of things going on. And
Where he was talking about the re-release of the nutrients in the cover crops. So in the vegetative mass, when is all of those nutrients going to come back available for your growing cash crops?
Seed specialist Jay Whalen talked about the Haney test, one of the new ways that growers can use to supplement their soil testing program and look at the beneficial effects of cover crops in their rotation and what kind of movements they've made in terms of soil health.
With this being a problem farm to where I felt like it had issues, finally I'm up now producing where the rest of my farms is, which this year, that farm was one of my best farms.
what Jay's been going through with the Haney soil test is really interesting, that there's been that much change in the soil health in that few years. So that tells you that maybe it's not going to take quite as long as we think to get some of these soils back to where they need to be if we're using the cover crops.
I did a couple Haney tests this year, just looking at the inorganic nutrients versus the organic nutrients and how to use that to go forward instead of, just keep throwing stuff out there just from an input standpoint.
Just try it somewhere. You're going to be really surprised how well it works.